Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, my friend and I were going to present about 6 article review that related to our chapter, which is chapter 2. But before that, let me introduce my name and my friends. My name is Nazirul Hakim bin Zaini, and my friends Nurul Najwa binti Muhammad Yusof, and next is Harid Hakim bin Awam. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's start to the first article. The first article that we're going to talk is about Mario Balotelli racially abused by Lazio supporters as Serie A overshadowed again. In this article, it talk about a professional football player has been targeted by racial abuse by Lazio fan, and that make Mario Balotelli take action by shoot a ball to the spectators. So what we can relate in this article, first is about racism. Racism should not be included in sport because it can bring many harm than good, because it can hurt many people, not just individually. Next is about fairness. Fairness. In this case, we should treat all people the same, no matter what their skin color, what their race, what their religion, and other. So, for the discussion, in this case is, we should play with full of sportsmanship value, and that we put aside all of that thing, so that we will play with fair, with harmony, and good environment. So, for the conclusion, the racism should be stopped because it's not good for our next generation, and this kind of culture should not put in the netizen. Thank you. Next, while we continue to the next article.
Thank you, Nik Nazirul. Okay, for the second case study, which is DPM and corruption uphold integrity in sport. DPM Dr. Ahmad Zaid Hamidi want the reputation of the national sport to be more precise and clean, which means he don't want the athlete who involved in take corruption to be joined in any kind of competition, because it will make the reputation of our country become bad. He also said that he will collaborate with Royal Police Malaysia and Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission to settle this problem. Okay, what I can relate from this issue with the topic of theoretical framework for moral reasoning, which is chapter 2 in ethics, the most important thing in this issue is about moral value of the athlete itself, because if the athlete have their moral value, he won't do that. He won't do that because he know if he do, he will give the bad impact to others. Okay. Next is what I can relate from this issue is the impartiality, which is the fairness. If the athlete do that kind of the problem, which is take corruption, it will cause the unfairness to the person who didn't take that. Who didn't do that, because he work hard based on their talent, but the person who take the corruption only use the corruption to become famous or successful in sport. That will cause the unfairness. Okay, the discussion, Royal Police Malaysia and Anti-Corruption Commission need to do a lot of hard work to prevent this problem from occur. Example, increase the punishment of the person who involved in corruption. Okay, the conclusion, corruption is illegal in sport. So we need to stop this from occur in our sport. Okay, next, Harid Hakim, can you tell me about your case study?
Thank you, Wawa, for the second issue. So, we are going to proceed to our third issue, which is we are going to take one of the local issue that occur in Malaysia. So, my article is about a 17 years old national athlete who has been caught positive in doping during an event in Malaysia. So the athlete who is just 17 years old, which is for me still young, but have already involved with the usage of drugs. Why? Because he want to increase his performance. So the athlete has been tested and positive the usage of the metasterone and oxymetholone, and according to our MOF, which is according to our MAF, according to our MAF, metasterone and oxymetholone are classified as a banned substance that were released to enhance the athlete performance. So now the athlete and his coach are still under investigation and still have been called by the MAF for the further investigation. So what can be related with our chapter 2 topic, which is theoretical framework of moral reasoning? So first of all, I would like to relate this issue with the moral value. As we know, moral value is defined as the value that holds itself. This includes the element of right and wrong, honesty and dishonesty. In this context, this athlete has not become honest and has taken the wrong decision in order to win the game. So for me, at this point, this athlete has lack of moral issue, which has made him to act badly or not follow the rules. For the second moral value that can related to this chapter 2 about theoretical framework of moral reasoning, we can relate this doping issue with the Kantian ethic. As we know, Kantian ethic is about the importance, or is about to support the fairness among the athlete in the sport. It means all athletes must follow the same rules and regulation in order to compete in sport. They are not allowed to use anything that may help them, or they are not allowed to use anything that can help to increase their performance in the game. So in Kantian ethic, all athletes have not given any specialty to compete this game. It means the athlete cannot use any drugs, use anything that can increase the performance. So athlete must 100% depend on himself to compete in the sport, which means he must work hard, sweat his blood and tears in order to achieve success. So there are two issues that can related with this article, which is, I will repeat back for you, which is first of all moral value, and the second is about the importance of the Kantian ethic. So that's all from me from article number 3. So we go to the article number 4. Please continue, Wawa.
Okay, thanks Tariq Hakim. Okay, the fourth issue, which is youth sport create opportunity for the sexual abuse. What can parents do? Okay, this article is about awareness to the parent. Based on Dr. Anita Rush, Professor of Developmental Psychology at the University of California, said there is a way that a parent can prevent from their children from sexual abuse. Okay, first, parent need to tell their children about the body. The parent need to educate their self before protecting their children. The parent itself need to educate, understand well the children body, and active in enter or active in join any of the children match, because that was the way that the parent can see whether the coach is doing appropriate or inappropriate touch to their children. Okay, what issue can relate, which is responsibility of the parent, the coach, and the athlete itself. Parents responsibility to make sure the safety of the children. Coach is don't take any advantage to the athlete. Okay, the athlete itself, the responsibility needs to speak out when there is a problem occur to them. Don't hide their problem from their parents. Okay, beneficent, which is coach cannot harm the athletes, and parent need to prevent harm from the outsider. Okay, the discussion that we can relate from this issue, which is the discussion, the parents need to educate their children. First example, the parent can send their children to do to a class taekwondo example to protect themselves from this occur. So it will make the parent feel safe to send their children to any kind of sport or training. Okay, the conclusion it was the essential thing that parent can make sure the safety of the children. The parent is not only make sure motivate their children to be success in any kind of sport, but the parent also the person who will make sure the safety of their children. Okay, next, Nik Nazirul, for your case study.
Okay, thank you Wawa for the explanation just right now. Okay, next, I will continue to the next article, which is article number 5. Time for Malaysian sport to break free from power-greedy administrator leader. In this article, it talk about the interference of politicians in our sport industry that make our sport industry cannot move to the next level, even though we have a good infrastructure and we have a good athlete. Why? Because these politicians have their own agendas to make their name, position, and reach. So what we can relate to this article based on our chapter is about professionalism. Professionalism. The politician should have be professional in doing work, which is whether he has a lot of work, but he need to focus to the job he have. So you cannot focus to the only one job. So next, about responsible. When you have the position, you need to give a fully commitment to that position because you already get it. So for the discussion, to improve our sport industry, the position should be managed by our former athlete because they well known in our sport industry, and the former athlete also need to free from political issue. So in the conclusion, if we want to move further to the next step, we have a good management in sport association, because with the good management in sport association, we can manage our athlete go to the high level. So next, Harith Hakim will continue to the last article.
Thank you, Nik Nazirul, for the 5th issue. So, for the final issue to this video, the issue is about the disciplinary problems and bullying problem in youth sport. So, in this article, it is about the bully and discipline issue that happen, that become one of the thing that always happen in sport, which mean even at this young age, the athlete has been exposed to this disciplinary and bullying issue. So, in this context, coach become the important role to avoid this case from getting worse. So, coach need to choose a good way in order to control the discipline problems and bully issue in sport. However, this not only depend 100% on the issue. The athlete himself must have the self-drive to make sure they are not involved with this issue, which is they know if they involved in this issue, they have tended to make their performance worse and low. So this is important for the young athlete to understand why they should not have involved with discipline issue and bullying issue, because they are about to make their future dark. So first of all, we can relate this with the moral reasoning. Moral reasoning will help the athlete to determine and help to make a practical and better decision. With the good moral reasoning, athlete will be decide a solid and concrete reason of why and how and why they should do and what they should avoid for their self. So for the second issue is about the moral value. Moral, as I said before, moral value is defined as manners and action that been shown by individual. If athletes have a good moral value, they cannot control themselves from involved or get in with the bully and discipline problems. If they do not have the good moral value, they tend to run or make their future not good. For the third issue that can be related with this article is about the moral principle. What is moral principle? Moral principle is defined as the standard measurement in the human being that indicate what the people do and what the people should avoid. At this young age, they must have a good moral principle because their journey is too long. They will face a lot of more problems that can make their future bad. So, with a good moral principle, the athlete can set a safe drive or as a guidance for them to